All right. Hey, hey, welcome back, guys. All right, so Aries, I know it's super, super late. I'm sorry about that. To me, it still is tonight, but that's because I'm up late tonight. But technically, we're rolled over into the next morning. So um, we are doing obviously a mythology week, and that'll kind of follow into next week a bit. But at some point, I will go ahead and do just a storytelling for Aries of the origins of Aries in the constellation zodiac aspect. But for right now, I did a pre-shuffle, and we're just going to touch base on the god associated with this card, which happens to be the god Apollo. So, Aries, we start the storyline out with the chariot, by the way, so Cancerian energy, but they've associated the chariot card with the god Apollo. Very fitting. Now, Apollo he's the twin to Artemis, Diana, that's his twin. But he, despite being like such a well known god, he doesn't have like a very happy mythological backstory. He's incredibly helpful and useful, but at the same time, he tends to like have love stories that don't end very well. One of his love interests gets turned into a laurel. He is someone who others, even other gods, kind of fear and are uncomfortable around. So really, only his mother Leto is comfortable around him. But he is kind of like this very. It's not that he's so judgy per se, but he is this god who like governs from afar. He is kind of like the most moral of the gods, and he kind of like helps to like in mankind, he helps to promote the emotion of guilt, so that if someone has done something wrong, they'll actually feel that uncomfortable feeling, and then they could be purified of it by changing course of action and starting to behave better. He's also like the protector of flocks against the wolves. So again, he's always got his eye out for things that are wrong. But then there's this really soft, sweet side of him. He's very known to play the lyre. That the musical instrument kind of looks like a harp. He's heavily associated with music and the arts, and he's in mythology he did many wonderful things. Like protective kinds of things, morally sound things. But he's also really connected heavily to the Oracle of Delphi, and so he would come and like, again, this is kind of like to help mankind a little bit, but he would come and like whisper his messages into the ear of the Oracle of Delphi, who was typically a woman over 50. And then she in turn would, retell whatever his whispers were. And then that could be used, for supposedly the good of mankind. So all of that being said, though, we definitely see him as a really powerful, really well-known, really amazing, Greek god. But his own personal kind of like inability to like form bonds or something is a message here. Now, with that chariot, though, the chariot is oftentimes the energy of like, I found my personal belief, my personal convictions, my emotions are settled, and I know what direction to go with confidence. And I always say only emperors and empresses get to ride in chariots, because you have to be that sure of yourself. You have to have made correct actions, intentions, and judgments, and now you can move forward with confidence. So knowing all the backstory, though, well, a smidge of the backstory on Apollo, right? There's a ton of mythology out there. Let's see how this all fits together. We do have the Queen of Cups, which would be somebody who's got a lot of love. If he wants to, travel toward a Queen of Cups, somebody who's very loving. We have a Nine of Cups. We have the Page of Pentacles. Aries, first off, I don't know where Aries is in this, because we really don't have Aries. We have so much water and a little bit of earth. So we know this is a very emotional story. And my impression right now is that there is somebody who perhaps is, I'm not going to say like they're an awkward duck, because we're all awkward at some point in life. I'm an exceptionally awkward person. Okay. So if I'm going to say that, trust me, I'm talking about my own, my own family, like everybody out there who claims to be awkward, you are one of my family members. Trust me. We share so much already. I can tell you that. So if there's an energy of awkwardness, though, about this character, this could be somebody who is either smitten with Aries, feels like Aries is very warm, very loving, feels like Aries makes them really, really happy, somebody that they like to sit and sip beverages and talk to for hours and hours and hours, but they haven't done that yet. It might be like in their mind, they've listened to a lot of what Aries has to say, or they know some things about Aries, and in their head they've already like had long conversations, but in truth this says they haven't actually started a conversation yet. We still have to have the first little tentative step forward, but all these cups sitting here make me think in their head they've built quite a story of how it will be and all the things that they want to talk to Aries about, but in truth they may be kind of putting the cart before the horse. We have a Four of Cups. I keep feeling like this is somebody who is, this seems to be more their story than Aries, because we still don't see Aries anywhere. We just keep getting more emotions. But this is somebody who's been super disappointed before. This is somebody who's not found a way to express themselves in a way that maybe others either understood or comprehended. They have felt like there's this illusion of understanding or warmth, but now they're saying, no, it's just that maybe I was interacting with the wrong people. I think this Aries is really super nice. They would get me. They won't think I'm so awkward. I could have real conversations with them. I feel like there's that song coming into my head. I like how you're broken like me. I can't think who sings it, but it's a fun little song. We've got the maze, which is the Wheel of Fortune in any other deck, and we've got the maze, or maybe we could call it a labyrinth. It feels like they've been looking for somebody that they felt like they could jive with their whole life. Whomever this is, and again, they could be a water sign. Now we did just bring in some Aquarius, some Scorpio, some Taurus, and some Leo. King of Cups. It's like this person is saying, I've met an Aries that I could really see. We're both really unique. We're mermaid. We're mer people. Well, mermaids are mythical creatures. They're super, super special because on one hand, they're not real, or are they? I have a whole argument as to why. I'm like, something akin to that I think could have existed. But it's like they know. It feels to me like this person has walked around most of their life feeling like maybe I'm too literal, maybe I don't get sarcasm all the time, maybe other people don't understand me, but I feel like I could connect with Aries. I feel like Aries will understand me. I feel like somehow I feel drawn to them. I feel like we could be two unique souls swimming in this big, huge ocean. By the way, I'm just noticing that there's this red, almost like a betta fish, which is funny because it's like way down here at the bottom of the ocean. And then they also had a red cardinal bird here for their it feels like, anytime we have like somebody in our lives that we consider to be our guides, I'm wondering if like either the color red, or if they have a guide who perpetually is like, whoa, hold on, don't say this, don't say that. I'm wondering if they get like red flags a lot of like, oh, I shouldn't say that. That person won't understand my sense of humor. But I think Aries would, but other people won't. It almost feels like they have learned how not to say the thing that would be weird or odd. This person could have like a really offbeat sense of humor, and it's like they've learned don't make jokes. Because I'm hearing like, I love offbeat humor. That's my favorite. But oh gosh, his name was just in my mind and now it disappeared again. Stephen Wright. I love Stephen Wright's humor. I think he's hilarious. It's just very deadpan. oftentimes very literal and just super funny because it's like it's brilliant and simple all at the same time. But somebody who has like really dry humor could be missed on a lot of other people. And I'm just wondering if that's an element. But again, we see them saying, Aries will get it. Aries will get me. They will understand. Maybe they're this sure about Aries. And we have an Eight of Wands. That Eight of Wands is, again, clear direction forward. We finally have Aries showing up, by the way. This would be our Aries card. I'm thinking that Aries is like feeling the exact same way. Yes, I could totally gravitate toward this person. I understand them perfectly. I understand exactly what their joke was. I understand exactly how they behave. None of that's a shocker to me. This feels like this is going to be all systems go for Aries. I don't see them holding back. I don't see them struggling with this relationship because I think that our water sign person here, or Apollo, um, it feels like they're spot on. This is, we should go back here for just a second and say, with that, anytime we get the Wheel of Fortune, it denotes things are changing. It's a change in era, it's a change in timeline, it's a change in energy flow. And all of this shift and this change in all the energy here, it is, I think that's why it's like it's time for a balanced connection now. I really don't want to hold back anymore. I know that I could connect well with Aries, and it's time I talk to Aries. These two could be talking mostly at first over like electronic devices because we have kind of like this. I don't know, this almost looks like somebody who'd be like sitting at their computer and it's, the information is coming at them. I feel like Aries could be like a really fast typist or texter, but this definitely has like, I don't know, this vibe of like Tron or something as well. I don't know if both Aries and this person has like, maybe they have a specific like love of, say, video games or video game type films or something like that. They could connect either over, like electronic stuff. Maybe Aries loves to like nerd out on stuff too. But this also to me looks like a neuron. So there's like this electricity between the two of them. This could become quite a passionate. Like I could see these two talking for hours and hours and hours. And Six of Wands. Oh, but there's romance here. There is so much romance here. I don't know if on this first date, Aries is going to be wearing red. Aries could have red hair as well. Or there's just, remember, red was the color for them in when we saw their guides. And now Aries is in red and there's red roses. And I'm just feeling like that could be either part of their conversation where it's like, oh, well, my nickname is red because I have red hair, or red is my favorite color. And that could be something that they make note of right away. I just feel like they're going to make Aries feel really special. I feel like they're going to go out of their way to make a real romantic scenario. I feel like the dates are going to be amazing with this person because they're going to go the extra mile to like create, a fantasy and bring it to life. Like they could have an elaborate way to date Aries. I don't think I've ever seen such an elaborate dating scenario in any storyline before. But it's like they already know what they would like, what they would be delighted by. Like this is a person who could like rent out, um, like some Universal Studios like ride specifically for a date or something like super grand, super wild and big. It feels, by the way, Star Wars or something could be really important here as well. I just keep seeing like warp speed, but I feel like this is a relationship where the communication will be off the charts. Their energy, they have so much to say, so many things that they haven't talked to other people about because other people just didn't jive with them, wouldn't have understood them. And they're like, I already know. Aries and I, man, we can talk the same language. We can, let's say both of them are like computer programmers and Aries speaks the same language as this other person, Oh, I can talk about the same things at your level. You can keep up with me, I can keep up with you. It just feels like a ton of similarities. And I think this is a rare gift for this individual. This person has so much emotion. I feel like they're a sweetheart. I feel like they are loving. I feel like maybe they are a little bit eccentric or quirky, but it just keeps feeling like they think they're going to match great with Aries, and Aries is going to match great with them in those eccentricities. Like, I don't think you're weird at all. I think you're just right. I don't even think that these characters are eccentric per se. If anything, I think they might be like super, super intelligent, and that's why maybe they haven't bonded that well with other people who, don't get the jokes or the humor because they're not operating at the same level. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing.